You are listening to Realign Your Life Podcast, where I discuss with you strategies on how to realign your life and move towards the direction you always want to. I am Vivian, the host of this podcast, and every week I will bring value on how to improve and realign your life either through a guest or my thoughts. I can't wait to share what we have this week. It's time to realign your life. Well, welcome back to Realign Your Life Podcast. I am so excited and honored to have you here with me today for this episode. I'm Vivian, the host of this show, and I have a treat for you today. Oh, yes, I've got something good for you. Now, you know, this podcast is all about realigning our lives. And realignment is that process that we look at our priorities, our goals, and our values. And sometimes we have to reassess those in order to fulfill our purpose and become a little bit more focused. Because as you all know, life has so many twists and turns in it. And sometimes we can find ourselves feeling lost and just kind of not knowing what the next steps are. So we are here to walk along with each other, to make sure that we are putting together some strategies that we can use to be able to move to those places that we always want to. And one of the things that we've talked about lately is mindfulness. And remember, when we talked about mindfulness, it's a mental state. It's a mental state where the mind is being used to be able to bring us back and keep us in the present moment without any judgment. And in a couple of the episodes in the past, and if you hadn't watched or listened to those episodes, you need to go back and check them out now, okay? I have talked about one of the practices that I use for my mindfulness and to stay kind of focused in the present is I practice Pilates. And I'm telling you what, I have had such a wonderful experience with that. And I go to this club, and one of the instructors there is who is. Now, I'm saying this on this podcast, but for those instructors that work alongside this lady, now don't get no attitude and don't be no haters, okay? But Rocio Vargas is here with us today. And Rocio is one of the instructors that I work along with. And she's going to share with us some pointers and some ideas that she has and how Pilates can help us to get to a state of mindfulness. Now, this is a very interesting fact about Rocio. Do you know she was actually a banquet manager? And of course, for a lot of us, here along comes COVID. And so she had to realign her life and, you know, do something a little bit different. She had to refocus. And so she's she's here with us today. And Rocio, welcome to Realign Your Life.
Thank you.
We are so excited to have you here with us today. So can you tell our listening audience a little bit more about yourself and how you ended up being a Pilates instructor?
Yes, you're right. You know, sometimes we don't know what the life is prepare for us. Those twists here, there, and we have to realign. And that happened to me, because I've been working for so long, in hospitality, and I was so used to just get up, go and do my thing, be around different people, different events. And then everything just shut down. We told, it was actually this didn't happen from one day to another. It was from 1 hour to another, because I went to the hotel and then I knew it was some cancellations. So, but I went to check anyway, and they told us everything is canceled. Get everything, together, just push everything back to the ballrooms, and we see how the thing's going. And that was my last day.
Wow.
It was like, it took me, we didn't expect it, that we are going to be like that close for so long. So, and then that's when, I said, what am I going to do today? I was expecting, just to go back to work in my 2 weeks, nothing. And I was practicing my mat Pilates in just a regular gym. And the only thing that it was open, it was the club Pilates. So I went over there to double check, and they have openings. We were doing like, instead of working 12 people working out, we were doing just 6 people. So every other reformer wear the mask or the protocol, for COVID. And I enjoyed that, I just find myself doing something for myself. And at that time, I really have the time to do it, because I was always running, and I was, just having the 24/7, just for me. I start practicing it, and I love it. And, I used to practice, like I said, but this was more full exercise, because I was using all the equipment, that for Pilates. And then it was some teacher training opening, and I said, okay, maybe this is the time. I'm still waiting for my job to come, and that didn't happen. So I said, let me just do something more for me. And I got into this teacher training and, get certified. And actually, out of 12, I was the only one graduating.
Wow.
I was nervous because the language barrier, everything is in English. I'm originally from Peru, so my primary language is Spanish. So studying in a different language, it was kind of tough, but I was keeping in my mind that whatever I start, I always try to finish, go all the way to the end. And that was something that was keeping me just moving forward into this teacher training, and got certified. After all, I have a lot of, support from some of my people from Club Pilates, actually. They helped me to do all these exams and tests that I have to pass before I got certified. And here I am, and I still a hospitality, person. This is a way for me to give back. I love to give back. I think I'm so blessed, and I have a beautiful life. I really enjoy my life. And this is a way to give back, teaching somebody else to find, like a better posture. That's like make a huge difference, in their life, on their daily basis. It means a lot for me when I see the difference. So here I am.
That is absolutely a beautiful, beautiful story of being able to realign our lives. And, we've talked in the past in a couple of other episodes on how sometimes something that you take up as a hobby or just something that you do as a side gig, that it can become a career for you. And you were saying that, you're a Pilates instructor, but you are also still very involved in hospitality. So that's just beautiful for somebody out there listening that, hey, you know what? Maybe I can turn this into something. And you mentioned the determination that you had the mindset that I've started this and I am going to finish. and bringing other people in your circle to help you. I just love that. I absolutely love that. So part of, for me, I have found that part of Pilates is all about being mindful and being concentrate. And I get tickled with you a lot of times because you always say, okay, bring your mind to the game, bring your mind to the game. So how does mindfulness help someone to better respond and to listen to what their body is saying?
It's about, when I say that, just bring your mind to the game, it's about put an intention of what are you doing at the moment. Since, you are there and, I guide the class, and sometimes you can not see me because you are laying down that reformer. But if you listen, and yes, pay attention of what are you going to move, and move from that point, with the intention, like, let's say, breathing. When you inhale and you expand your ribs, bring that air to your lungs, and your mind, you are looking at that. And when you exhale, say exhale with control, you put your mind on doing that, your concentration of doing that, and make those things happen.
Wow.
It's a little thing, we say, we just breathe. Everybody have to breathe because, that's a way of living. That's our nature. We have to breathe in order to live. But most of the time, we don't take the time to do it right. Sometimes we are so in a hurry, so in our own things that we just breathe just because, but we don't put the intention of doing that right. So when we go to a Pilates class, that's what we do. We put the intention of doing that breathing in a right way and make a huge difference.
So that goes right back to our definition of mindfulness is having that mind in the present moment.
Yes, be
without
intentional.
any judgment.
Yes, that's the point.
And intention. That is beautiful. So how would you say that mindfulness contributes to overall stress reduction? Because all of us at some point we got 55,000 things going on in our lives. And so we become stressed out. So how does that help us with reducing stress and being able to really relax?
Well, that's the thing, when you breathe right, you bring that oxygen to your body, and you bring that oxygen all the way to your brain. It's proof that, that helps to think better, and when we put our mind, I'm talking about Pilates, when we're practicing and try just to concentrate, move one leg, bend and extend one leg, just focus on that. We're living that moment there. Mm-hmm. The more we pay attention of what are we doing at the moment, mm-hmm. Because you have a lot of things that you say, your thoughts are coming back forward, they're on the way. But that little moment to just think about what are you doing? What are you moving? Putting all your pieces together. Like I always said, put all your pieces together. Your mind, your breathing, your move. It makes a huge difference. If you are thinking about what are you moving, you're concentrating about that. Of course, the rest just go to the side for that little moment there. So it's about that moment.
Oh, that is absolutely beautiful. And so mindfulness, those of you that are listening out here, you can see how Pilates can really help us to be in that present moment and how important this is in the practice of mindfulness. And for those of you that are kind of hesitant about it or don't really know, take it from me. You should have seen me on my very first time there. It is a process, right, Rocio?
It's a process. It's a repetition. And as a Pilates, we have 6 principles that we work with. One of them is your mind, your breathing, your control, your precision. So to put all those pieces together, when we talk about centering, everybody say, oh, Pilates is about core. Yes, it is about core, but not just with the core. Well, everybody talk about, just do 6-pack.
Yeah.
When we talk about centering, it's about the powerhouse. It's the whole center of your body, where we have more than 60% of the muscles. So we are concentrating, we pay attention more on that core that we call centering. And the flow is just like, that's moving from one exercise to another exercise, but just seamless. So when you put all those pieces together, and sometimes you practice this, and sometimes you feel like you in without sweating, but like a nice sweet soul. That's what I say, and you feel tired and relaxing at the same time, because your mind is there. So it's more about, your mind paying attention to everything you're doing during the session, combining all those principles. And then I think that is what it makes a Pilates exercise a Pilates exercise. It's not like you can do the same. You can do the same somewhere else. You can move fast. You can do your biceps fast. You can use more weights, everything. But it's about, like I said, put your mind, move with intention, and everything you do. Take the time to do it right, like everything in your life. Take the time to do it right. Nobody is rushing you.
You say that a lot too.
Yes.
You say that a lot, that nobody is rushing you. Everybody's body is different. And I just find that so encouraging. And like you're saying, it's like a good tired. Because as we were discussing before we came on, I often say, okay, I'm getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to come over here and do this session. I'm coming back home and I'm getting into bed. But I am so energized afterwards. And what do you attribute that to? What is that? Does that get back to that mindfulness?
Well, yeah, you're doing something for yourself. And it feels so good when you set up something in your mind and you accomplish that. Nobody can take that from you.
So how do you really encourage students to bring a mindful approach? What you've stated a lot of things here already, but what is that really back in the back of your mind when maybe you've got a new student coming or somebody that is coming? Because you really do mostly the 1.5s session. Mm-hmm. So if you've got somebody new coming, how do you work with them to have that mindful approach?
Take their time. That's one of my things. This is not a competition. You're better than anyone. Your range of motion, I said, don't look at your neighbor. Maybe sometimes just to have an idea, but don't base your move on somebody else's body. Just take the time, like I said, pay attention, listen, pay attention before you move. Visualize yourself doing something. and go from there.
That's beautiful. So, Rocio, what would be maybe 2 or 3 things that you would share with our listening audience today about Pilates and from your experience and your expertise? How would you, what would you say to the people out here listening?
Okay. Like I said, when we hear about this, do Pilates, do life, it's about mobility. It's about whatever we practice, whatever Pilates exercise we practice at the club. It's just something that we can apply on our daily basis. Mm-hmm. The posture, when you do at night, we work on your breathing. You change your posture just from there. When you do your breathing, the breathing helps to change your posture. And we move our spine in different planes. We call it like forward, back, side to side, rotate. Like we call it when we rotate, it's transverse, plane. It's different planes that we have in Pilates. Why we do that? To keep our spine healthy. The healthier your spine, the younger you are. So your age is based on how healthy your spine is. Mm-hmm. That's what Pilates is about. Something that you can practice. Of course, you go to the club, you practice that, but it's all that work doesn't stay in the club. You take that with you. Those hip flexor extension and extensions, everything you can apply that on your daily basis. And it's your mind, again, that it reminds you when you're doing something just walking on your regular basis. And then your mind is telling you, hey, inhale, exhale, open that chest, keep that belly button to your spine, things like that. That's why you take Pilates is life. It's not just going to the club and practice. Take the time, like I said, to apply everything on your daily basis. That's life. That's life. It's not just going to the gym and lift weights and just have a nice body. Yes, you layer each muscle. You work on each layer of your muscle when you go to Pilates. It's about repetitions. It's about control. It's about, just practicing again. It's about repetitions. Mm-hmm. And it's not just the repetitions at the club. It's repetitions on your daily basis, on your daily routine. That's what it is. And it's your mind is always telling you, hey, pay attention to this.
Oh, that is so beautiful. And that's just so beautifully stated. So I hope you guys were listening to that, because what she's saying is absolutely true. I'm a witness, because even right now, I'm checking out my posture as we speak. And there are really times that I really focus in on my breathing, those deep breaths and that, that extended exhaling. I get it. And even though I have a medical background, I am just so very impressed with the way that you call out those muscle groups that we're working with, flexing and extending. And, so I tell you, for those of you that are looking for a way that you can become a lot more mindful and also a lot healthier and taking care of your body and for a longer life. And a lot of times, Rocio, I have heard you say, oh, you're going to be really, really be strong when you're 80 years old. And I'm like, yeah.
Yes, that's about the Pilates. It's something that you can practice for long term. And, you see the students, we have different ages, different backgrounds. And I can tell you, I have one that she is 82 years old.
Wow.
And coming, and like when I saw her the first time, I said, that's inspirational, I really want to keep my body moving, for, in a good way until, it's my time.
Exactly. And for those of you, and like I said earlier, that feel like, hey, that would be too much. I tell you, the instructors that I have encountered are very, very patient with you. They work with you. They come by and they're like, may I touch you? Or they move your little feet a certain way, or they say, oh, move your
yeah,
arm.
we're so used to move in certain way, and our job as instructor is to guide you through, doing some modifications, or sometimes your feet is supinating or pronating, so it's about reinventing our muscles too. We're talking about, alignment, realigning. Your body sometimes need that to physically need it, and then it's about move. We move, we learn, we modify. Life is like that. Pilates is like that.
Right. And so, we're going to be winding this down. And so I just want to say to everybody out there, realigning your life it's brave and it's a courageous movement, but we can all do it because it's transformative. It really is. And I know that those of you that are listening and that have been following this podcast, that is what it is all about. It is about going to that place in our lives that we have been purposed to be, that our values are there, and that, we can truly have focus. And today, Rocio has shared with us one of the ways that we can really do that. So, Rocio, I know that you are at a particular club. So if people wanted to know more about Pilates, how can they, is it possible for them to reach out for you? And if so, how would they do that?
Well, I have, my email that, that I share that with you. And I go to Club Pilates and teach early in the morning. I'm the early bird there, 6 and 7 a.m., and also give, I do private practice at the club too, so that's a way, is they can find me at the Club Pilates.
Okay. So could you just share your email with them here?
Yes. My email is Rocio_Vargas, VX and Victor, ARGAS @hotmail.com. My daughter always laugh about that. Hotmail, mommy, people don't use that anymore. Well, I still using.
You'll be surprised at how many people still use. I know people that still use AOL. so you're still right on time. You remember that saying, you've got mail. Yes. So, Rocio, I just want to thank you so much for coming on with us today and sharing your heart. And we just see your spirit of love and wanting to really help people to get to that place in their life that they are destined to be. And once again, it's a journey. Realigning our lives is a journey, but we can all come together on this journey together and support each other as we realign our lives. So again, I want to thank you, Rocio, for listening, and those that are listening out there, I want to thank you also. And if you have found that this episode has been informative for you and helpful for you, please make sure that you share it with someone out there that you believe that would benefit from it also. And again, this is Rocio Vargas, and she's at Club Pilates. You can look that up and find her there. And if you just want to do some private sessions with her, she's available to do that and can discuss all of those things with you. So until our next episode, thank you again. This is Vivian, the host of the show, and I look forward to seeing you next episode. And in the meantime, peace. I hope you enjoyed this episode. The best gift that you could give me is to share this podcast with family and friends. And don't forget to review it. That way, this podcast will grow organically. If you need to reach out to me, please check out my Facebook page, DM me there, or you can email me at godskow@gmail.com. We have upcoming Bible studies that we would love for you to join us in, or if there is a guest or someone that you would like to see me interview on this podcast, please let me know. We are here to work together to realign our lives. Until the next episode, take care, and I look forward to sharing more and more with you as we realign our lives. Peace until next week.